Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome to Alex Builds. Now we're going to have the next 4 stages of Build Your Own Fast and the Furious Dodge Charger RT. Okay, so we've got 4 stages and we're doing stages 35 to 38 of this one. So some of you may notice I've put a light box up at the back. Mrs. actually picked that up at a car boot sale. I think she got it for like 50p or something like that. So that's a really good find so thank you for that from her. And yeah, so I'm going to put on there the channel sub so you can see it live. As you can see, we're very close to 2,000 now. We're on 1,992 subscribers. So if you haven't yet hit that subscribe button, please do so and help me hit 2,000. It would mean a lot. Right, so yeah, let me show you what we get in stages 35 to 38. Okay, so these are the magazines here. And we get all these parts here. So let me show you the parts as we go. So that's stage 35, stage 36, stage 37, and finally stage 38. So let's take a look at the magazines and see exactly what we've got. I don't believe there's too much to do in each stage. So that's what we get in these ones. So we get first parts for the transmission in this one. So we get these 2 parts here and these parts here. So I don't think there's too much to do. We're just going to be connecting the 2 halves together, 3 cm screws to secure them on. We're going to put this end into here with a GM screw. And then the final page, we've managed to figure this over 1, 2, 3, 4 pages. We're going to connect the other end on just like that. And that should have us our transmission just like that. Now stage 36, so let's get to the right page. So this is the transmission 2. So you can see we get this part here and these 2 parts here. So what we're going to be doing is connecting them 2 together just like that. So that one's going there. We're going to clamp that onto there with some KM screws, and that is all there is to do at that part. Then we can move on to this one. We're going to add this part onto here. So it wants this pipe here. So this one came in stage 34. So I do still have that. And this one, this side here as well. It's all going to get clamped on like that, and we don't actually install that in this stage. Stage 37. Let's flip back a couple of pages. We're doing the brakes. So as you can see, we're going to assemble the brake disc just like that, and then we're going to attach them onto each side just like that with the calipers on there as well. They do look really nice, they do. And yeah, so we're going to have that by the end of this video. Look at that, looking very cool. And then finally, we are going to start the left rear leaf spring. So as you can see, we've installed one of these before on the Egdo one, which was, yeah, really a solid piece of metal on that. So we'll have to wait and see if this is. It looks like it's metal. And we get all these little parts here. We don't actually install this on the car, but that is where it's going, just down there. And yeah, that's what we should be left over by the end of this stage. Okay, so as you can see, we're not actually putting too many parts on the actual model itself. We're just assembling a couple of extra parts. We're assembling the transmission and the left rear leaf spring as well. So yeah, I will have to get onto fanhome because this delivery took 2 months to get here, and it shouldn't have took 2 months to get here. And they've also got a delivery which has been pending for 2 months as well. So I need to see what it is. Maybe it's a stock issue. It doesn't say out of stock on the portal that they've got. It just says awaiting delivery. So I'll have to ask them what's going on with that. Also the same with the Night Rider. Have you noticed that I haven't done a Night Rider in a little while? That's because I've been waiting nearly 3 to 4 months for Night Rider now. And yeah, I just haven't heard anything from that, so I'll have to get onto them about that as well. But getting my Iron Man alright, that's still coming through alright, so it can't be just a problem with the whole portal, it must be just a problem with them 2 builds. So without further ado, let's get the parts out of the packaging and start building. Okay, so with the parts out of the packaging, I thought these parts would be plastic, but they're not, they're both die-cast metal. So as you can see, they can only go one way because the holes will not line up with the pegs in here. So we need to make sure we've got that the right way, and then they will line up. So that is that way. Let's load that down onto there, just like that. And then we've got 3 screw points here, here, and on the end here as well. Let's get some CP screws in those holes. There we go, in the center first. Secure that down, just like that. 2 more. So 1 this side. These are CM screws. I might have said CP then, but they are CM. because we're going into metal. There we are, that is that part all done. And now we're going to go this side and we're going to use the smaller of the two details that it's asked us for. We're going to slot that into the centre, making sure the holes line up just like that, and then we can get a GM screw and go through that hole at the top here. So this is going to be quite tricky to get it started, but we've got that started. And let's screw that all the way through. So I put my finger behind it to support. There we go. That's going in nicely now, just like that. And that should be able to turn just like that and hold its own weight and not be floppy or anything like that. So now we're going to go on the opposite side. It doesn't state which way round this goes. I don't think it matters, but we're going to go this way round. Just like that. And just to keep it uniform, I'm going to keep the screw this side. This one's going in with a CM screw. Doesn't tell us to go both sides, but it looks like we can put a screw hole in, a screw in each side. Yeah, we want another CM screw the opposite side as well. So you can turn that over and line up the screw hole on this side and secure this side in as well. Is that one nice and tight? Let's just tighten this side up as well. And there we are. That is stage 35 all complete. Okay, so in stage 36 we get this big heavy chunk of metal. This one side here is metal, but this side here is plastic. It would have been nice if it went the whole way and made this metal as well, but yeah, at least most of it's metal. So yeah, as you can see, inside here we do have a little notch, and we've got the little notch hole there, so we know we're putting it on the right way. So that's going to go into there just like that. We can take this side, it's going to marry up with that just like that, and the it should be symmetrical both sides, so it's a nice smooth fit all the way around. Then we can put a couple of KM screws in to secure that down. So let's get a KM screw in the back here. This is the first one, number one. And now the second one, the opposite side. Get nice and tight, just like that. Right, so that's that part all finished, so we can put that to the side. Now we're going to need to bring in the actual chassis that we've been working on, and we're going to install a pipe in that. Okay, so you might not be able to see this very well, but down there, can you make that out down there? We have a gold part in there that we installed. There is a nipple on that part, and that's on the brake connector. So we can take this tubing that we had and we're going to plug that into that nipple. So this might be difficult to get it in. So I'm going to try use some tweezers. There we are. That's that on there. It doesn't ask us to connect it at the other end, so I'm just going to leave that on the top. Now we're going to take this little part, which you did get in stage 34 as well. We're going to feed this pipe through here. So that's going to go through the top just like that. We'll feed that down to there. And just here at the back, just here, as you can see, we've got two holes. That's where we're going with this. We're going to go just there. I'm going to secure that on with two CM screws. Sorry, this does still looks really nice from underneath. This does. Right, so that's the first one. Let's get the second one in. Let's go just here, just like that. And now it wants us to take this pipe and we're going to feed it under here, just like that. So it's just coming underneath this exhaust silencer just here. We're just going to have that just there. And yeah, with that, that is this issue complete. So we've installed this pipe and we've made this up as well. Okay, so now we're going to start making up the brake disc. So we're going to take this part here, we're going to plug this into the front just here, into the back, sorry. So it makes our brake discs, that's going there. buttons go in there. So we've got that just like that. So now we can take one of these parts, these are metal, and we're going to secure this onto the back. So that's going onto there. We're going to use some PM screws to secure this on. That does give us an absolute abundance of PM screws. So we're going through the front here, so we can line our holes up. Just there. There is a peg in it to help you. So I'll put the peg in and it should help you line up the holes. That's the first one of them in. Let's get the second one. And the opposite side. Just like that. So that is that part all done. Now we can bring back this, and with the side marked L, that's going to be going into this side here. So let's slide this on. We do have a peg to help us get it the right way round. Just like that. And then 2 more screws in the top here. Put the first in there. And getting the first one in is the most trickiest one. And that one wasn't too bad to get in at all. Let's get the second one. So that is that on there now, just like that. And we can take this assembly that we just made, sliding this on this way round, just like that. And then we can take our caliper, which is this one here, and we can attach this onto here. As you can see, we've got 2 points just here where we're going to be putting that onto there. So this is going to help hold that on. So we'll line up them holes just like that, and then 2 more PM screws. Put the first of these in, nice and slow. There we are. There we are. Let's get the second one. That will help secure that on. So we've done this side now. Get some force behind that to screw that down. And there we are. So that's on that on there. We've got our brake and caliper and disc on there. So now we need to go ahead and do exactly the same on this side, just like that. So that is what you should have up until this point. It's something that looks a little like that. Okay, so now the final thing we're going to do with this is go in from this little connector here. So this little connector is, there should be a hole here, which there is. I'm going to poke this down into there. That's that poked into there with the nipple facing the same way as this. Then we can take this pipe here, that's going to get plugged into there, just like that, and then we're going into the hole on the front of this brake caliper, just like that. That is sort of what you want to have. Get that right in there, it's not going all the way. There we are, that's better. So that's what we should have so far. Now we're going to take the other pipe. Then you work out which way round it's going. I believe is this way round, so we want that way. And we're going to curl this around this. So let's plug that into there. It's going, yeah, this is going over the top of that. Get plugged into this caliper on this side, just like that. So have a look at that. That's looking really, really nice. So we're not going to need this again for a little while, so we can take these 2 parts and we can store them away until the next delivery. So the final stage we're going to work on is the left rear leaf spring. Look at the size of them OM screws. They are absolutely massive. Let me put one of them PM screws that we're using in the last issue next to it, just to give you some size comparison. They are some chunky screws. I believe that's one of the biggest screws we've ever used on one of these builds. Absolutely massive. Right, so let's get started. So we're going to use that part straight away. We're going to start off with this part here. So as you can see, we turn that way around. We're going in this hole here. We're going to take one of these. So we've got 2 of these. One's got number 1 on it, One's got the number 2 on it. So this one's number 2, this one's number 1. So we're going to take shackle 1, I'm going to put that over the top there. So let's get that there. And then an AM screw is going to help secure that on. First one all the way down. That's the smaller of the 2 holes. I do believe they are slightly different. And let's get the second one now. It's going to need another AM screw to put the second one on. So this way around. Putting that screw in. Just like that. So we've got them on. And we can take our leaf spring this way around. Noticing where the hole is. We want the hole further away from the end we're working on. And yeah, we're going to put that there. We're going to use one of these giant OM screws to go through the front. So, can I feed it through? We'll find out in a sec. So yeah, that goes through that one. Just that all the way through, and it's going to secure that onto the other side. So let's get that in. Making sure it is straight. Let's tighten this up. Oh, that's a big screw that. So yeah, that's that side on. Now let's do the opposite. So we're going to take this side here. It's going onto here, just like that. That way round. That's what we want it. And we're going to put a couple. It says OM screws on there to secure that on, but there's no way you're getting one of them OM screws through there. It's got to be an FM screw, which is the other screw that's supplied. So it does say in the instructions on the diagram it's got OM screw, but in the actual text it's got FM screws. So it's an FM screw to secure this on. The first one. Let's get the second one. Nice and tight. Let's go tighten that first one up. There we are. Now we can attach this onto here, so we want to make sure the same way round, but now we're going to put that on there and have an OM screw come through here. So that's going to go through there into the opposite side. So lie that down. And tighten that up, and with that, that is the final result of our left rear leaf spring. So there you are, guys. That is 4 stages all done of the Dodge Charger. Looking really, really good as well. I did like that pipe that goes across there. Adds that little bit more detail. The silver on the black on this car I'm really liking. I like the exhaust underneath, which looks really, really nice. And that as well is going to make the underneath pop. Not that we're going to see it a lot, but yeah, at least we know it's there. If you haven't yet subscribed, please do so. We're only 8 subscribers away from hitting 2,000, so please do so. Help me hit that 2,000. So I hope you enjoyed this video, guys. If you did, please remember to leave a like down below. And if you haven't already subscribed, please hit that subscribe button. I'll see you all next time. Take care. Bye-bye.